and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jody, and on my channel I talk about Broadway and books. And in today's video, I'll be giving a spoiler-free review on the latest book that I've read. So, as per usual with my spoiler-free book reviews on my channel, I go over a few things, such as what the book is about, general information on the book, my thoughts, and my star rating. So without any further ado, let's get on to today's spoiler-free book review. And that would be for the book The Last Flight by Julie Clark. So The Last Flight is about two women, Claire and Eva, two complete total strangers who just happen to meet randomly one day at an airport. The two begin to talk to one another, and they slowly start to realize that they are both going through situations in their lives where they just really do not want to go back home. So they agree to switch plane tickets and go on each other's flights as one another. So Claire gets on Eva's flight and goes to Oakland, California, and Eva gets on Claire's flight and goes to Puerto Rico. Claire lands down in Oakland, California, and just as she's about to leave the airport, she just happens to notice how there's just a lot of people gathered around all the TV screens in the airport lobby. Curiosity gets the best of her, and so she goes up to the TV screens to see what's going on. And that's when she learns that a plane has just crashed. And the plane that has just crashed is the plane she was originally scheduled to fly on to Puerto Rico, the plane that Eva ended up going on instead of her. So that's basically more or less what The Last Flight is about, and the story does go on from there, but I'm making this a spoiler-free review, so I'll just leave the overview there. General information on the book. The genre is suspense thriller. The mad pages is 269 in paperback, which is how I read the book. The timeline is there are two different timelines in this book. One timeline takes place in the present day, while the other one takes place 6 months before the plane crash. And for a point of view in the story, we hear from 2 points of view in the story, which would be from the characters of Claire and Eva. So now for my thoughts on this book, I really ended up quite liking this book a lot, although it did take some time to get there. So before I get on to what I didn't like about this book and what I did like about it, I just want to first point out this is the first book by Julie Clark that I've read so far, and after reading The Last Flight and liking it, I'm definitely interested in reading more from this author in the future. I actually do have another book of theirs, so yes, very excited to read that at some point in the future. Now for my thoughts on this book, I'll first get to what I didn't like about the book and then what I did. So the only thing about this book that I did not like was that it just took a really long time to get into the story. I would say it wasn't until around page 100 or so that I was finally able to get into the story and just start to like the book so much more than I had been. And I think the reason for that is I just felt like the story was going at a very slow pace for the first 100 pages. And because of that, it was just really difficult to get into the story. That's the only thing, though, about this book that I did not like. So now for what I did like about the book, I'll briefly go over the 3 things about this book that I did like. The first being the writing. I just really liked the writing in this book. Julie Clark is a great writer, a good storyteller. The writing in this book was very sharp and smart, and despite the story going at quite a slow pace for the first 100 pages, I did think the book was really well written nonetheless. And now for the second thing I liked about the book, I thought the author did do a good job of building up the suspense in the story. This is very much a suspense thriller, but it's not what I would say your typical average suspense thriller kind of book. This book is not by any means an edge-of-your-seat page-turner. The kind of suspense that is within the story is the kind that, catches you off guard and catches you by surprise. It's the kind of suspense that slowly seeps its way into the story and then appears out of nowhere. And I thought this aspect of the story was handled really well. Now, the last thing I really liked about this book was I thought all the twists, turns, and reveals, as well as the ending, were all really well done. I, was continually being surprised reading this book, reading this story, and I didn't find it to be predictable at all how the story played out. And so, yeah, those are my thoughts on The Last Flight. Now for my star rating, I gave this book 4.75 stars. Overall, I really did like this book and enjoy my time reading it, but I couldn't overlook the fact that it just took a really long time to get into the story. And now for, is this a book I would recommend or not? And I've kind of went back and forth with how to answer this question, and I've come up with this. If you like a good suspense thriller and you don't mind waiting around 100 pages or so for a story to kick in and get good, I would highly recommend this. On the other hand, if you do not feel like waiting 100 pages or so for a story to kick in and get good, I would not recommend this, and I'd say just skip it. But yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. If you made it to this point in the video, thank you so very much for watching, and my spoiler-free review on The Last Flight by Julie Clark. It really does mean a lot. I hope I helped you discover a new book along the way as well, and until next time, bye.